So this is like, hee hee, I'm Aloe, and I have infiltrated the ranks, which reminds me.
There's one thing you can expect from me, and that's the unexpected. 'Cause I'm an international super spy.
So everybody, in today's video, we're going to jump into LGBT memes and check out some LGBT memes. So sit right down, grab your coffee or tea, and let's jump into that video. So this one's like, vibing in secret, acting in public. Me in the closet, vibing to Girl in Red. My mom, what you listening to? Me still not ready to come out. The Beatles. Yeah, definitely not Girl in Red. Definitely not any music associated with the LGBTQ community at all. Let's see what some of the people say. Someone's like, ooh, I can listen. No, you can. Meanwhile, my straight younger sister listens to almost every queer female artist that I do, including Girl in Red, and gets her boyfriend to listen to them too. I love that I get to share music interests with her and see her perspective on them. And yeah, I mean, sometimes, the straight people, do also like, queer music as well. So, I mean, yeah. And this one's like moving to Canada right now, right? And the video's like, Hooters opens its fifth male-operated femboy location in Canada. It's like me and the boys getting our passports to Canada. And if you push the video, it's, a bunch of pirates like, yeah, here we go. We're going. We got the tickets. But yeah, I think that's kind of cool that, Hooters is, expanding out and just like, we're not just going to do our usual thing anymore. You got to expand with the market or something. I don't know. And this one's like, garlic bread is very good. For all the asexuals, here's some garlic bread. I'm not asexual, but I do love garlic bread. Yeah, same here. I'm not asexual. I'm demisexual, trans lesbian. But, I also like some garlic bread. Like, garlic bread is a shit. Like, taking that garlic bread that you can get at Walmart and then put some, meatballs on it and sprinkle some cheese and throw it into the oven. That is, like, really delicious and good. You should try it. And it's like cottage hockey. It's different. And it's like average hockey fans. And then the next one is like, two hockey bros, just chilling, just, laying together, Bears can do that, right? They can just, lay and relax and, enjoy each other's company. And they were hockey partners. I would be hockey teammates. You get the point. This one's like impolite bisexual, finger guns and bad puns club. I like that one. This one's like when you realize it was something else instead. You come out to people, panic. They take it well, calm. You realize you were wrong and you have to uncome out, panic. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to life, it's just all a kind of a journey, and it's totally fine if you think you were one thing and you weren't. Like, before I came out as a trans woman, I thought I was bisexual, and stuff, and then I realized I wasn't, and that I was a trans woman and I was a lesbian. So, I mean, it's just a thing that you find out as you go, and that's totally fine, as well. I think if people were more open-minded about that kind of thing, it'd be easier for people to come out and then be like, oh, you know what, that wasn't me, and to be able to explore their identity of who they are as a person. And so this meme is like, it's like one of this person's old memes, right? And it goes, friend, if you had to choose any superpower, what? Me. Shape-shifting. Friend, okay, that was fast. Why? Me. And it shows the gender fluid flag, I believe, because, reasons, nothing else at all. I remember, before I came out as trans, somebody was like, so if you could become a girl for like 24 hours, what would you do? And it wasn't the usual typical things. I was like, oh, I'd go shopping and try on some dresses and, try on girl clothes. I mean, and then, my friend looked at me and I was like, because they have comfortable clothes. That's it. And he's like, that's the only reason? I was like, yeah. And then, there was a few other things I gave, but he was like, that's all? That's all you would do? So, I mean, at that particular point, it should have been obvious that I was a trans woman. And so this one's like, a little comic strip goes, hey, sexuality, why do you always wear that mask? And they got to pull it up in its LGBT mask. And the person's like, yeah, let's keep this on. Because it's denial. They're like, yeah, I don't want to admit this right now. I'm not ready for that. Person is like, later I came to terms. I wasn't attracted to opposite sex, but kept ignoring the gay and would get arrow ace and identify that way for next 4 years. I was so deep in denial. Me takes in my gay quiz to make sure I'm not gay. Me chooses the answers that I knew would give me straight, like I'm very attracted to the opposite sex. Me when I get yours straight. Whew, glad I'm not gay. And I've done that for like multiple quizzes, not for, any lesbian quizzes or trans quizzes, but for like other stuff. I'm like, I'm going to answer this to get the answers I want instead of how I really feel about the situation, And this is like things you should know. Trans people are not the reason your life sucks. No, it's not. Like, we trans people are not the reason your life sucks. If you live in the United States, your life sucks because of Elon Musk and Donald Trump and, the Republican and the Democratic Party and capitalism just sucking the life out of everything. That's why your life sucks. It has nothing to do with marginalized groups of people. It's not so-called illegal immigrants, which, remember, nobody's illegal on stolen land. But no, it's not people that are from other countries that are the reason your life sucks. It's not non-white people the reason your life sucks. It's capitalism, honey. It's not that you hate Mondays. It's that you hate capitalism. This one says the most powerful queer word, partner. And it says my partner, and it shows a person smiling, and it shows, it's Shrek smiling, and it shows the LGBTQ flag. And yeah, because you don't have, when you say my partner, you're not outing yourself or anything, so it's not like someone's gonna know that you're queer, because a lot of people use the word my partner now, so you're like good to go. So yeah, it is the most powerful queer word, if you will, because if you know, you know. It's like not society's joy, our joy. And it's like, sure, sex is okay, but have you ever been chosen by a cat? Then at a critical win in D&D, won a sword fight in a dress, ate really good cake, or spoke to someone about your special interests and they listened? Which it's like, yeah, those things are even better. Sometimes, This one's like, imagine if this sea shanty, Leave Her Johnny, was about a trans man named Johnny and the song was being sung by his friends telling him to leave his old identity behind. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For your voyage is done and your beard's not grown, and now it's time. Now you can leave her. That would be really cool. I would like to see a, parody she shanty version, of that. In that particular, situation where the she shanty was about a trans man named Johnny and the song was being sung by his friends telling him to leave his old identity behind. And it's like, I still get comments like this when I say I'm gay, but I'm actually kind of offended now. Like, what about me is given that I'm straight? Like, how do I make myself look gay? No offense to the straights. Like, I get mistaken for a straight man or a straight femme woman, and I don't know why. It's like, person, but you don't look gay. Me, oh, I'm sorry, just let me. It's like, yeah, exactly. What does not looking gay mean? They're always like, oh, you don't look gay. It's like, what is that supposed to mean? Or they tell somebody, oh, you don't look like an NB, non-binary, to non-binary people. Or they tell asexual people or aromantic people. The only people that they say, oh, yeah, you definitely look that way is to trans people. They're like, oh, yeah, I can tell you're a trans woman. Even though before you said anything, they didn't know. And same thing with a trans man. They'll tell a trans man, oh, I know you're a trans man. Even though before somebody said anything, they didn't know. But, But yeah, I don't know how you can look gay. I don't know. Like, it's like, what exactly do I need to do to prove to you that I am what I say I am? And it's like the LGBTQ plus watching Christy Nome getting destroyed by her husband's antics. Oh, yes. Like, it is rich because Christy Nome is like anti-LGBTQIA plus, like largely as much as she can. And then come to find out her husband's a cross-dresser, which is not the same thing as trans people. But, she, has an issue with trans people. And again, cross-dressing is not the same thing. But it's just kind of ironic because she doesn't like anything queer. And it's like, I guess this whole time your husband was queer in some kind of way because, he was all down with the bimbofication and cross-dressing. And it's like, oh, you have an issue with, LGBTQIA plus community and drag queens and drag kings, but your husband's doing something similar, girl, in your fucking living room, in your bedroom, who knows where else. So yeah, it's just fucking hilarious to watch that. The same thing she was bitching about, she's like, oh, men shouldn't, when it came to drag queens, she's like, oh, men shouldn't, dress like women. It's like, well, your husband is doing exactly that. So it's just hilarious. Because, like, now watch all those people that, considered her a hero and were queer phobic as fuck, and now gonna all of a sudden, like, turn against her. This is like, hee hee, I'm Aloe, and I have infiltrated the ranks. But yeah, who doesn't like, guy like Brett? Like, I'm not, allosexual, I'm demisexual, so I'm not asexual either, or aromantic or anything like that. But who doesn't like some good garlic bread? Like, garlic bread is just really delicious. So I don't see, but I mean, this person's infiltrated the ring, so asexual, you better be on your game, because they're about to steal all your garlic bread. And this one says, JK Rowling in the Magic of Bigotry. And it's like Harry Potter in the transgenocidal, Hogwarts Transgenocidal Express. And the hunt begins again. Max Original. And yeah, this is right here is true. It's J.K. Rowling uses her Harry Potter wealth to fund anti-transgender organizations. Harry Potter profits. So for any of you that watch that new HBO new Harry Potter, the fact that you are, watching it, you are helping J.K. Rowling fund her anti-transgender organization. Because like this article says, Harry Potter profits are going directly to anti-transgender legal cases. So if you care about trans people, you're just not going to watch that Harry Potter. Because if you do, you are giving money directly to harm trans people. It's simple as that. And this one's like, to all the guys out there, you're gay now. You can trick your brain into tasting salt if you shake an imaginary salt shaker over your mouth. I get that one. Because if you do that motion, it kind of looks like you're, we're not going to try to say exactly what it is. Just do that right now at home, and you'll see why that it said to all the guys out there, you're gay now. Because you'll see why when you do the hand movement, you'll be like, oh, that's what Tonya was talking about. And this one's like, still your child, just finally myself. And the dad comes in and goes, are you winning, son? And it's a daughter sitting at the computer, and she's like, Dad, I'm not your son anymore. And then the dad's like, I'm sorry, Amy, I'm trying my best. And the Amy is like, I love you, Dad. Because, the dad's trying, the dad's, not being transphobic, the dad's still just getting used to things. And so that's awesome. We love to see a supportive, relative that supports their, relative of, of who they are as a person. Alright, so this is a meme, and it's like, every time you repost this image, a trans person gets hormone treatment, and a transphobe also gets the hormone treatment. I like that one because it's like, you know what? Nah. Every time you repost this image, not only does a trans person get the hormone treatment and the gender affirming care they deserve, but the transphobe that keeps being transphobic, they also do now as well. So now they can't be transphobic because now they're getting a hormone treatment. Fancy award for talking about trans people on Reddit. Don't degrade people just because of who they are. Trans rights are human rights. And it's like, Senpai of the pool, what is your wisdom? Trans rights are human rights. Respect trans people for who they are. Yeah, it's just that simple. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't, harm you or destroy your life. Just accept trans people for who we are. Simple as that. Trans rights are human rights. When you say any pronouns and they still panic trying to pick one. Any all pronouns. So, Crizzo, what's your pronouns? Pronouns, anything. Try to switch it up, though. Okay, that's unhelpful. And it's like, yeah, they said just any pronouns, so you just switch it up. Use whatever. Just be respectful about it. So this person's gender flex, but mostly non-binary. They're mostly non-binary, and it's like, doctor, it's a girl, and it goes, my trans ass. Good guess, but actually no, because the person's gender, thing, fluctuates, but they're mainly non-binary. So it's like, yeah, that's a good guess, but no, that's not me. It's like, so this is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And it's like a MAGA person's like, yep. And Ezekiel says that their sin was not aiding the poor and needy. Yep. Whereas in Genesis, their sin is being inhospitable and attempting to grape angels. That makes sense to me. Then this has nothing to do with homosexuality. And the person's like, being gay is sodomy. It's like, but the thing is, that verse that, Christians use against LGBTQ community of being lesbian or being gay has nothing to do with the LGBTQIA community. Like this thing says, it's about them not aiding the poor, feeding the hungry, being being inhospitable. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble pronouncing that. And attempting to grape angels. Like, that was their sin. It wasn't what, Christians try to say it was. But, that would require them to actually read their Bible. That would actually require them to understand the context of it as well. Like, for instance, the part in the Bible that they always say, what it says right here, thou shalt not lie with a man as thou does with a woman. Well, the original context in the original language didn't actually say that. What it actually said, that a man shall not lie down with a boy as thy does with a woman. So it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with pedophilia. So it was saying, don't be a fucking pedophile. But, that would require them to know anything past what their church teaches them. So this one's like, I'm straight as a board. And it says the board, and it shows a roller coaster. It reminds me of somebody's like, I'm straight as a ruler. And it's like, you do know rulers can bend. Or they're like, I'm straight as a spaghetti, and it's like, yeah, maybe as straight as spaghetti noodle, but once things heat up, that noodle is no longer straight either. But yeah, like, that's a good one. And this one's like, it's always projection with these people, which it is. And it's like, I think it's hysterical that Kristi Noem's husband is a cross-dresser. And the person's like, and you find this funny because you're transphobic? And it goes, no, I find it funny because she is. And yeah, I find it funny because Kristi Noem is transphobic. Like, she was so against people that were trans. She's so against drag queens and drag kings and LGBTQIA community. And she's so against people cross-dressing, and now her husband's one. And it's like, so Kristi Noem, you going to hate on your husband as well? Or are you going to finally be one of those people that's like, now that it affected me and is close to me, maybe I was being a little hateful. I doubt it, though. She's MAGA and a far-right conservative. Well, I mean, that's the same thing, isn't it? But anyway, she's a far-right conservative, or AK MAGA. They you never get it through their brains. They'll always think the way they think. There's nothing you can do about the situation other than just move on and ignore them. And it's like just some Simpsons memes about the recent SCOTUS case, LGBTQIA plus community. Do yourself a favor and don't turn around. 8-1 SCOTUS ruling that banning conversion therapy is unconstitutional. And it says 8-1 SCOTUS ruling that banning conversion therapy is unconstitutional. There's very little equality in this ruling. And yeah, it's not. So basically, if you haven't heard, they said, oh, it's totally fine if you electrocute people, to turn them straight. And they'll say, oh, no, that's not what we said. But that's what it's going to lead to. They didn't, well, you know what they probably did know of what people used to do with conversion therapy before it was made illegal. But they're like, it's totally fine to force somebody against their will to be something that they're not. And that's what they're doing, because conversion therapy is what they used to do to try to make people know, that they were like, oh, we're going to turn this person straight. But they, and the people that are like, oh, this is okay, they're entitled to their belief, they don't know anything about queer history. Did you know that they used to use corrective rape for lesbian women to turn them straight? No, you probably fucking didn't. Those of you that are like, oh, this is okay, it's not okay. They used to electrocute queer youth back in the day to try to make them no longer LGBTQIA. And there's just tons of stuff that I'm not even listing that they used to do to queer youth. And now, basically, because of this ruling, they can again. Congratulations, Supreme Court, you fucking dicks. And it's like me, up until a few years ago. I love this thing, and I don't know why people hate it so much. Google's JK Rowling controversy, transphobia, anti-Semitism, racism. Yeah. Like, once you actually go back and look, because, like, as a kid, I loved reading Harry Potter. You know, I grew up with Harry Potter. I've seen all the original movies, and I was like, man, this is amazing. But then when you start to look into it and you start to read between, you know, what's really there, read between the lines, or pay close attention to what's there, you realize it's not that great. Like the trolls, I believe they are, right? The trolls that are at the bank, that's an anti-Semitic Jewish stereotype. And then you have the one black character whose name is Kingsley Shacklebot. It's like, really, JK? You thought that was the appropriate name to name your black character? And then you got tons of transphobia in the book as well. Like with the polyjuice potion and whatnot. And then you have the characters, you know, going into the women's restroom after they took polyjuice potion. You're like, oh, wow, I should kind of known that J.K. Rowling was transphobic already. And then you have the one Asian character has two last names in this two Asian last names, and it's the most stereotypical Asian name she could think of. Like if she would have had it, you know, a lesbian character in the book, she would probably name the character a lot of vagina, or licks a lot, or some stupid shit like that. She's a bigot. And it's like bigots replying to a trans affirming post. I'll have a fine Jesus with a bit of trans women aren't men. How original. In the side of 20 years, Dagestan. Daring today, aren't we? Yeah, it's always the same argument that they always use. It's nothing original. You're just like, I haven't heard this like 50 million times already. You're not creative. You're not original. You're just lame. Mostly tongue-in-cheek, but a trans guy alternative would be good to know. If Protect the Dolls is to support trans gals, does Protect the Action Men support trans guys? I guess it'd be, yeah, I don't see why. I mean, since it's Protect the Dolls for trans women, wouldn't it be Protect the Action Figures to support trans guys, since that would be the equivalent of a doll? I don't know. Let us know in the comment section of what you think the equivalent for trans men would be, and also the equivalent for non-binary people and gender fluid people. We'd love to hear your feedback. So, tell us in the comment section of what you thought of any of this content. We'd love to hear your feedback. Remember, the comment section is a safe space for marginalized groups, so any bigotry, and you will get blocked, and your comment will get deleted. We're not down with that. We're not okay with that at all. And if you want to see more of this content or to join the Fox Den, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of future videos just like this one. So that's all we have time for today. Check the description bar for the usual links and everything like that. Anyways, I've been your host, Tonya Kitsune. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
We are every single star, still here. Trans women, trans men, non-binary and free, still here. You can legislate the document, but you can't legislate me, still here. SB 14442, weapons in one bill, double barrel, double threat. Invalidate the IDs and ban the bathrooms, make them sweat. Now any stranger on the street can sue a trans person for $1,000 fee, just for suspecting, just for looking. That's a bounty hunter regime. Use the restroom twice in the wrong place. That's a civil